Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the Friday Q&A. If you are new here, my name is Penny. I am a master esthetician in Portland, Oregon, and today I am actually coming at you from my treatment room. I had to film this today before work because I work all day today on Friday, so when you guys see this, I'm actually going to be knee-deep in facials and that kind of fun stuff. So I'm coming at you in my scrubs and a sweatshirt, so forgive that and the lighting, but let's get right into your questions. If you are not familiar with this video, it is where I answer all of your questions, or as many as I can. So if you have any questions for future Friday Q&As, just leave them in the description box. I do screenshot them and I'm trying to get to all of them each Friday. The first question is from Sierra Roberts, and she says, what depth should I set my Dr. Pen to for the nano cartridges? So 0.25 millimeters is pretty standard for your nano cartridge. Definitely don't ever want to set it any deeper than that. So 0.25 or more shallow. You could do 0.2. You could go all the way down if you have sensitive skin or you're just starting out. You could go down to, you know, a 0.15, that kind of thing. So just think super shallow because a nano treatment is very, very superficial. The idea is to keep it superficial. The whole objective of nano is to treat the stratum corneum, which is the most superficial layer of your epidermis. So 0.25 is the deepest and the most standard depth. So hopefully that helps. Next question is from Paulina Puelma. Paulina says, what do you think about laser treatments for melasma? I am thinking about the heat the laser treatments generate and the more damage than the improvement that we can get. Which laser treatments do you recommend for melasma? So Paulina, that is such a good question. So I caution any of you ladies or gentlemen out there who have melasma to definitely steer clear of most laser and light treatments. There are some on the market that can be helpful for melasma, but they're pretty specific. You want to look for longer wavelength, like a 1927 wavelength laser for melasma treatments. But a lot of your IPL, a lot of your BBL that use, say, 580, 535 wavelengths that are typical, they are probably going to cause your melasma to actually get worse. And you're exactly right, the heat generated and the potential inflammatory response generated from those treatments can actually make melasma worse. So where a lot of people can go and get IPL and clear, you know, pigment and sun damage because it's not melasma, those of you with pigment because it's melasma, stay away from IPL and BBL. At least in my experience, that is the case. So what you want to look for in a laser, there are some lasers on the market now that are low heat and that they've basically designed them to work on melasma because of their lower heat or lack of heat output, but also their longer wavelength. So you can ask about lasers that use, like I said, 1927 or even 2900 plus long wavelengths. Those tend to be safe and effective for melasma. So that's definitely what you want to look for, and you want to stay away from the shorter wavelength lasers and light. You can actually ask when you call to make an appointment, what's the wavelength? And if you hear a lower number, those are the ones that I would just stay away from if I were booking an appointment to treat my melasma. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so the next question comes from Nicole Turk, and she says, I know you can't use retinol while pregnant, but can you use the other products during pregnancy? And that is such a great question, you guys. I am going to do a whole video on the good and the not so good during pregnancy, but definitely there are more things that you cannot use during pregnancy than you can use. And you're exactly right, Nicole. You cannot use retinol. You cannot use retin-A. Basically, any of the retinoid family you cannot use while you're pregnant. You cannot use hydroquinone. You cannot use salicylic acid. I would steer clear of essential oils. Or salicylic acid you can't use. I think I just said that. You can use glycolic acid, lactic acid is okay, hyaluronic acid is okay. Arbutin is up for debate. I would leave it off the list, but a lot of people say that it is okay. I would definitely definitely talk to your OBGYN and get their okay on any of these things. Vitamin C is supposed to be okay, but really I cannot stress enough how you should just run these things by your OBGYN, and when in doubt, leave it out. That's the rule of thumb for me, for sure. When I was pregnant, I just left all of it out except for moisture, and I really just steered clear of any actives, and I figured, you know, it is a short period of time in my life to leave some of this out. I have lots and lots and lots of time after I'm done, for me, breastfeeding. I breastfed my kids. I had lots of time after that to go in and do some correction on my skin. And so, you know, as much as I hate to say, you know, I'd step off a lot of skincare during pregnancy, except for just the pampering, really innocuous, really nice things to your skin that are not active in any way. That's kind of my recommendation. Okay, the next question comes from the YouTube name Classic Style. And this one says, I plan on using Triluma this fall. Can I switch it for the mix pigment inhibitor with retinol at night and use the suggested pigment inhibitor without retinoids in the AM? So this person is saying, can I use Triluma at night and then in the morning use a dedicated pigment inhibitor? He or she is referring to the skincare video that I just did on my fall routine. And he or she says also, I currently use vitamin C, Timeless with ferulic acid in the morning. Is it okay to use it before the Triluma? Okay, so Triluma, first of all, if you guys don't know, that is a product that you get prescription, and it contains typically retin-a 0.05%, and it also contains hydroquinone 4%, and it also contains a fluorinated steroid, usually in the 1% range. It's a very, very low percentage, and it's all cocktailed into one tube. Or your doctor or your aesthetic doctor can call it into a compounding pharmacy and kind of tweak those numbers. You can play around if they think you need a little bit higher percentage of retin-a or higher percentage of the hydroquinone. You can definitely get it customized to you. But in general, it is these three products together. Now, it's fantastic. It is definitely, above all else, the best way to clear pigment, because what happens is you have your retin-a, which is great for helping to clear pigment, and then you have your hydroquinone, which is great for clearing pigment. But that steroid, what it does is it mitigates the irritation that can come along with those two ingredients. And unfortunately, irritation and inflammation is one of the things that drives pigment. So you're kind of working against yourself when you are getting kind of acclimated to those two ingredients. So that steroid helps to mitigate that so that those two ingredients can work better. The steroid also tends to be a slight pigment inhibitor on its own. So it is a fantastic cocktail. So the perfect thing to do is to use that at night and then to use a dedicated pigment inhibitor alone in the morning. And you can definitely use your vitamin C prior to Triluma at night, or you could use your vitamin C in the morning and use it before your dedicated pigment inhibitor. But what I would also suggest is that you would incorporate an alpha hydroxy acid a couple times a week to help, move along the pigment that's on the surface. Great plan of action is to use Triluma. A lot of times Triluma is like 6, 8, 10 week long regimen, and sometimes it can go a little bit longer than that, and then a doctor will take you off of that because they don't want you on prolonged steroid use. But in that short period of time, what happens is you clear a ton of pigment, but you also start to get your skin acclimated to the retinoid. And that is a fantastic way to kind of ease yourself in and mitigate that irritation. And then once you're done with the course of Triluma, you can move on to, if you want to then cycle off of the hydroquinone, you can continue to use retin-a at night and cocktail it with an arbutin mix. Or if your doctor suggests, you can continue to cocktail it with a hydroquinone until they determine that they want you to cycle off of that hydroquinone. And at that time, you want to continue to use something like arbutin, kojic acid, licorice, or a big grouping of those things while you cycle off of the hydroquinone. So yeah, I think that is a fantastic course of action. Let us know how it works for you, because I think you're going to have fantastic results. Okay, so this one comes from J.H. JHC7731. And this person says, just also saw a raving review of a product from ACWELL called Licorice Power Duo for melasma. It was on Jennifer Joyce's video, Licorice Root for Skincare. Love Jennifer Joyce. If you guys don't know her, definitely check her out. She's been doing a series on skincare, and I really, really like it. She does such a good job. So this person says, JHC says, what is your take on licorice for melasma? Have you tried those products from ACWELL? I have not tried those products from ACWELL, but they have been on my list for a long time. What I will tell you about licorice is it is a fantastic anti-inflammatory ingredient, and it does act as a pigment inhibitor, but it is super, super, super lightweight. I mean, it isn't going to give you results all by itself. What I look at with that ACWELL product, particularly the toner, when I looked at that, I think that that is just an addition to any kind of routine that you might be doing. All by itself, I don't think it's going to even touch melasma, honestly. It may help to stave off everyday kind of hyperpigmentation. It might help with that a little bit, but what I see for licorice is that licorice is one of those ingredients that you want to just use along with. It's just another little tiny, helper in the battle against melasma. All by itself, not going to do the trick. Just have to have reasonable expectations when it comes to licorice. I think a lot of these ingredients like licorice and arbutin and kojic acid, all of those ingredients, I think any one of them all by themselves is probably not going to give you the results that you are wanting. But when you use them together, when you cocktail them up and you use them together consistently, then you might get some resolution of pigment, but it will be slower. Any of these non-prescription routes, they're definitely going to be a little bit slower, and depending on the pigment you have, depending on the severity, the depth in your skin, it's just going to take a lot of time. So yes, very intrigued by that licorice. The pH of it looks to be amazing. I think it's a 5.5 pH, and it's been on my list to try for a really long time. I just have so many products, you guys, that I can't try them all the time. But I think it's worth a shot to add into a skincare routine because it's a toner. It's easy to add a toner in. It's not very expensive. You get a lot of product in there. I just would not expect that product all by itself to work miracles. I have gotten a lot of questions about the Dr. Pen A6, the Dr. Pen A7. I want you to know that I have a video coming on Sunday. It's an unboxing of the A6. I reordered it. I actually gave my A6 away to a friend in a care package a few months ago. I bought it again, and I'm going to do an unboxing and just kind of go through what you get. I'm doing that on Sunday, and then my A7 is on the FedEx vehicle for delivery today. So I will film an A7 video and a comparison video, probably the same video, on Monday. I will film that to go up next week so that you guys get a look at the A7, you get a look at it compared to the A6, you can kind of see both. And so that is coming as well, because I've gotten so many questions about it, and I definitely think you want to be educated before you buy any of these. I will tell you right off the bat, if you have purchased the A6, I don't think you're going to need the A7. I really, really don't. So I wouldn't be thinking, oh no, I bought the A6, now they have the A7. Don't worry about that. The A6 is a fantastic tool. I do not think you need both. I do not think you need to, upgrade. Now, if you haven't purchased one at all, then this will be good for you to see which one you might want, because they are different. Okay, you guys, those are all the questions for today. I have to cut it a little bit short because I have to get to work. So I will answer any of your questions next Friday. We'll be back to kind of regular settings, and I'll have a little bit more time, but I hope that this was helpful. I really, really appreciate the questions, you guys. So if you have questions, definitely leave them down below. Like I said, I can't do this video if there's no questions. So I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to talking to you in the comments. Have a great day.